Calling to order the Monday, June 3rd, 2013 meeting of the 34th Council of the City of Berkeley. Ms. Prince, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Blanchard.
Here.
Councilmember Kadekel.
Here.
Councilmember Platt-Onson.
Here.
Councilmember Stedman.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Turbrack.
Here.
And Mayor O'Dwyer.
Here. First order of business is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Move to approve tonight's agenda. Support.
Move to approve by Councilmember Kadekel with support by Councilmember Baker. Any changes, additions? Hearing none, Ms. Prince, would you please call the roll on the agenda?
Blanchard.
Yes.
Kadekel.
Yes.
Platt-Onson.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now I see Reverend Tal Sullivan here with us for the invocation. Please stand.
Let's bow and pray. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this opportunity to come before you and to begin this meeting tonight, calling on you and asking for your blessing. God, we are a nation that says we are under you and under your authority. We know what it is to live with those in authority over us, and it is a great privilege to be able to say that you are the ultimate authority and the one that we're accountable to. And so tonight we ask for your blessings, God, on our city and on our officials, on all of those who are serving this great city of Berkeley. And God, I pray that you would continue to give wisdom and direction and provision. I do thank you, God, that you have provided, as in the last meeting, the approval of the budget and seeing the finances continuing to move forward in our city. We thank you for wise stewards that you've given us as leaders that are able to make good decisions. And I pray, God, that you would bless this time that we have tonight. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we come to the citizens' comments portion of tonight's meeting, when you may present your thoughts on issues that are not included on the agenda. Council members will not engage you in discussion. If your concern needs to be addressed by a member of city staff or a department of the city, please sign your name on the sheet provided at the clerk's desk. You may speak on a specific agenda item when it is being considered. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and city of residence. Seeing no great rush to the microphone, then we will move on to the consent agenda. Ms. Prince, would you please read the items on tonight's consent agenda?
Yes. Item number 1, approval of the minutes. Matter of approving the minutes of the regular city council meeting on May 20th, 2013, and work session meetings on May 13th, 2013, and May 14th, 2013.
Is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda? Motion to approve. Motion to approve by Councilmember Blanchard.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Baker. Ms. Prince, would you please call the roll on the consent agenda?
Kadekel.
Yes.
Platt-Onson.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Blanchard. O'Dwyer.
Yes. Now we move on to the regular agenda. And the first item on the regular agenda is with regard to recognitions and presentations, and I don't see any on the agenda.
Correct.
So we move to item number 2. Ms. Prince, would you please read item number 2?
Swearing in, matter of the city clerk administering the oath of office to Public Safety Officer Catherine Pounders.
So, Ms. Prince, please administer the oath.
Mr. Mayor, before we begin, may I ask our Public Safety Director, Chief Eshman, to give us a little bit of background on Ms. Pounders, please?
Thank you. Yes, very good, Chief.
In 2010, while Ms. Pounders was working in the city of Clawson as a police records clerk, she applied here for a part-time dispatcher position. We hired her, and she quickly took up that vocation. Her learning curve was about half of what the normal dispatch training schedule is. She caught on very quickly. She then took on the relief animal control officer position. In 2011, she put herself through a fire academy, Groveland Township, and became a Troy fire volunteer. 2012, she went to the Macomb Reserve Police Officer Academy. In January of 13, with the retirement of Officer Steron, we had an opening, and we hired Cassie into that position, and she immediately went to the Wayne County Regional Police Academy in Livonia. This past month, she graduated from that academy. She has an associate's degree in business management and is working on a degree in criminal justice. For years, she has done everything possible to put herself here today, and so we're happy to have her. She's been an excellent employee for these years, always punctual, always answers the bell. We couldn't be happier. So with that,
Catherine Ponders,
Having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
as Public Safety Officer for the City of Berkeley,
as Public Safety Officer for the City of Berkeley,
do hereby solemnly swear
hereby solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Charter of the City of Berkeley,
the Charter of the City of Berkeley,
and that I will perform the duties
and I will perform the duties
of my office to the best of my ability.
of my office to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Chief Eshman, Mayor Dwyer, City Council, City Manager. I've wanted to do this for a very long time. I wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of the city for putting me through the academy. I'd like to thank my family, my husband, my kids, my mom and dad. I had amazing support. My kids put up with losing their mom for 4 months because I was gone a lot, and they were pretty good about it. I couldn't be happier to be in Berkeley. I have amazing officers to work with and learn from, so I'm ready to be out there and have a very long career here in Berkeley. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations. Welcome.
Congratulations. Congrats again.
Thank you, Cassie, and thank you to all your colleagues who have shown up once again in support of someone who always answers the bell. What a fine compliment, Chief. It can't get any higher than that, always answering the bell. We're very proud of all our officers because they all answer the bell. And now, Ms. Prince, would you please read item number 3?
Motion number M 2813, matter of authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Glow Wrecking Company to demolish and restore the site at 2326 Oxford for a fee not to exceed $9,800.
Is it a motion to approve M 2813?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Blanchard.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Cadecle. Ms. DeSessa.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. On this item, I'd like the council to know that this matter has been reviewed by both our city attorney, Mr. John Steron, and also our city planner, Ms. Vanson. I'd like to ask Ms. Vanson to please approach the city council and just give us a brief summary of the process that we utilized in order to recommend this to the city council for their consideration. Thank you.
Good evening. You'll recall that after council's resolution with regard to this dangerous building, the hearing officer, in accordance with law, held 2 hearings. He recommended that the house be demolished. City council concurred, and we moved forward to advertise and solicit for bids to demolish the house. We have kept the property owner and the responsible parties notified of this process all the way through, hoping that we would not have to do this. But here we are. An ad was placed in the Daily Tribune, and it was also advertised on the website, and we also solicited from various contractors that do this sort of work. We received 2 bids. You have the bid tabulation sheet. We are going with the low bid of $9,800. I did call on the references and spoke to a gentleman in the City of Detroit's Building and Safety Department, and he admired us for only having one house to knock down. And I said, well, it's a small city. So he says this particular contractor has been working in the City of Detroit for 10 years and knows the system and knows how to provide work. I did speak with the owner of the company after I had written this report and gotten everything to you, and had notified her, and she called back, and so she's very pleased and ready to move forward on the work. We have received clearances from DTE. Consumers, it was supposed to be done Friday. I don't have a notice yet on that, so I will follow up on that tomorrow and see what's up.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any questions, discussion on this item? Mr. Sessa.
Your Honor, if you don't mind, I would like to ask the city attorney, is there anything else? Because I know that you reviewed this explicitly. Is there anything else you'd like to comment on?
No, I think it was covered well, and I did review the comment, and there were a few tweaks that
Yes.
Amy Vanson and I worked through, and I think it's good to go, and I think the process that's been followed is consistent with state law and city ordinance, so with your blessing, we'll move forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Very good. Any additional, Councilmember Blanchard?
Thank you, Your Honor. Was our timeline 2 months on this?
They have 2 months to demolish it, yes.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Very good. Well, seeing no further discussion, Ms. Prince, please call the roll on M2813.
Platt Onson?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Sherbrake?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Now, Ms. Prince, would you please read item number 4 on the agenda?
Resolution R-1613, matter of authorizing an amendment of the 2012-2013 operating budget.
Is there a motion to approve R-1613?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Stedman.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Kadeco. Mr. Sessa.
Council, as you know, this item comes to you time and time again in order so that we can ensure that our budget is kept up to date. We do this in accordance with Public Act 2 of 1968 as amended. And with that, I'll ask our Finance Director to please explain to the City Council the budget amendment we are recommending.
Thank you, Mrs. DeSessa. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. You have one budget amendment tonight in front of you for consideration for $9,800. This supports the previous item, which is the demolition of the home. What'll happen here is the vendor will go out and demolish. We will invoice the property owner. The property after the demolition will invoice. The property owner will get the invoice. They have 90 days to pay. If they do not pay, we will then place the invoice on their tax bill, and we will be reimbursed through the tax process. And we take it from there. So this charge will be a lien on that property. We will be reimbursed. And we have done this. We have done this in the past. So this is, and from the same source of funds. So this is nothing new here. I'll be happy to answer any and all questions that you may have.
Any questions with regard to this item? Discussion? Seeing none, then, Ms. Prince, would you please call the roll on R-1613?
Stedman?
Yes.
Sherbrake?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
Platt Onson?
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Now, Ms. Prince, would you please read item number 5?
Yes. Ordinance O-213, matter of approving the first reading of Chapter 106, Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Public Places, Article 2, Obstructions, Division 1, generally of the Berkley City Code to add new section 106-51, bicycle racks. Set date certain, June 17, 2013.
Is there a motion to approve O-213?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by
Support.
Councilmember Stedman, support by Mayor Pro Tem Terbrake. Mr. Sessa.
Council, you may recall, we have had a public work session on this item for the City Council, and we did discuss it. As the ordinance states, this is a first reading, and the date certain is June 17th, 2013. Please know also that the city attorney has also reviewed this with Ms. Vanson and also recommends it for your consideration. But again, just to give the viewing public exactly what it is that we're doing here, I've asked Ms. Vanson just to give a quick summation on this item. Ms. Vanson?
Hi again. You'll recall several months ago, you approved an ordinance that regulated the placement of bicycle racks on private property. That particular ordinance allowed, if for whatever reason, a a business owner who was developing property could not fit or didn't want to fit a bicycle rack on their property, that they would be able to, that they would be required in some instances to install it on the right-of-way. We also wanted to open it up if a business owner, let's say, wasn't developing their property and wasn't required to do it, but just wanted to have one installed and wanted to pay for it. We wanted to set up some framework for how we would decide whether that's a good spot or that's a better spot. And so I asked our city attorney to review this and explained, this is kind of what we want to do. I think we need an ordinance to do it. And so I had given him a rough draft, and he added some language to it, and here we are. So it's a very short one-paragraph ordinance. That doesn't happen too often.
That's right, it doesn't. Is there any discussion on this item? Councilmember Platt-Onson.
I don't necessarily have an opinion on it one way or the other, but I was just, because you had mentioned it, it is very short.
It is.
And fairly vague. Did you consider things like putting more explicit language around type of bike rack or parameters of locations, or is this sufficient for what we need to do in order to be able to effectively?
The opinion of DPW, when I had first talked to them about what criteria, there are so many instances of a door and a car door and a light pole and all the other things that it would be, there's just too many scenarios to try and spell out. It's really much better to just put it at the DPW's discretion, and they're going to be able to locate a spot. And if there's not a good spot, they're going to say no. If it's going to be deemed a safety hazard. I'm sorry, you looked like you were going to say something. Did you want to?
No, I was just going to say that's accurate. These things where a particular rack of a particular type will be appropriate in one instance, it might not be in the other. This does go in the public right-of-way and requires advance approval from the city, so we really have maximum discretion and judgment before these go in. We didn't go so far and really weren't comfortable going so far as to be putting in, aesthetic type parameters, colors, styles, that sort of thing, because it's, well, for obvious reasons, everyone has their own opinion on that, but ultimately the city has the say as to whether it goes in or not. It was thought to be really a convenience and a nice amenity for our business residents who don't have room to put these on their private property, but it's certainly not the intention of this ordinance to clutter our rights of way with obstructions or eyesores to pedestrians or motorists. Just really more of a convenience to afford some flexibility to the business residents.
Thanks. Yeah, I like the idea, and because it's working through the administrative process, it's not anybody's going to pick anything, go out and drill it into the sidewalk. I think we're set. I was just wondering if I'm assuming you had gone through a thought process to arrive at something short and sweet, so I was just curious. Thanks.
Very good. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you for the work that went into this. And sometimes it's really hard to come up with something as succinct as this, and so I appreciate that as well. And had similar questions, and I'm pleased with the approach. I mean, we want to provide overarching guidance, but the last thing we need to do is have such precision in here in terms of the look and feel and placement, and then for those to be outdated models and have to refresh the ordinance to keep up to date with the latest product offerings. I think this positions the city well for the immediate need and also for long-term growth. And agreed, as was mentioned, I like the approach of ensuring that it does have proper reviews. I think this ordinance gives us that flexibility and also that control point. I think ideally it positions us well to move forward with this. So thank you for the work on this.
Thank you. Anybody else on this one? Seeing none, then, Ms. Prince, would you please call the roll on 0213?
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Kadeco,
Yes.
Platt-Onson,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now we have quickly arrived at communications. Ms. Prince, who should be first?
Councilmember Baker.
There you go, Councilmember Baker.
Oh, thank you. Just a couple of things tonight here, and hopefully our communication portion won't be longer than the balance of our agenda today. At least I'll try not to overly contribute to that. But I did have a few quick updates. The Downtown Development Authority Board meets next week's Wednesday, June 12th at 8 o'clock. I look forward to continuing the conversation now that the budget discussions are in place to meaningfully wrap up this fiscal year's agenda, which wraps up here in June, and then to put the wheels in motion to the next cycle. The Historical Committee met yesterday on Sunday, June 2nd, and wanted to extend their gratitude again to all the support through Berkley Days and the month of May being the Berkley History Month. I was very grateful for all the public support and those who visited for the museum either the first time or for their umpteenth time having come out to say hi and check things out. So thank you to everyone for their support with the Historical Committee. There, on the transit front, there is a series of workshops along the Woodward corridor, many of which we've spoken of in prior sessions. There's discussions around rapid transit alternatives and things like that, and there's a parallel agenda underway having to do with complete streets. And so many of you recall that we in Berkeley were early in on embracing the complete streets principles, recognizing that much of our city is already in a great position, and we have the opportunity to continue on our way to embrace that approach to ensure that our roads are safe and accessible for users regardless of age or ability. So we're having conversations along Woodward Avenue, the entirety of Woodward, to do that same kind of an assessment, to understand the ways in which Woodward Avenue can and should embody the complete streets principles, which ensures that it's not entirely just automotive focused, but people focused. And people can drive in automobiles, but they can also take other forms of transportation as well. There's a series of workshops that have been organized along the Woodward corridor. In fact, there have been 5 of those workshops. And ours, for our stretch of Woodward, comes up next week. Next week's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which is June 10th, 11th, and 12th. There's a series of sessions, and I'll just give a brief overview of the nature of those different days and the specific timings. And then if folks are interested to learn more, certainly contact myself or administration here, and we can get you additional details on the information there. So the Complete Streets Project, again, looks at the Woodward Avenue and assesses our current state and identifies potential options to see how and in what ways we can improve the safety and reliability of the Woodward system. The first session is on Monday, June 10th. The community meeting and presentation is from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock, so from 5 to 7 next Monday. And I'll tell the dates and then where this is all at. So that's the first session. The second session is the next day, Tuesday, June 11th. There is a walking audit and interactive design workshop from 9 in the morning until 12 noon. And so it's Tuesday morning from 9 until 12. And what walking audits and interactive design workshops are is you actually will go out into the street and actually walk parts of Woodward to experience it, to see some of the amenities and design in place today that is beneficial to the Complete Streets principles, and perhaps identify a couple of obstacles or challenges or things that we may want to revisit and think about in terms of providing greater safety and access for all of our residents. So it's a really great way to actually get out there and see what Complete Streets are all about. So that's on Tuesday from 9 to 12. And then on Wednesday, June 12th, from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock, so this is an afternoon, early evening adventure again, is a presentation of plan concepts. So there's sort of a before, during, and an after, if you think of it that way. The Monday is the before community meeting and presentation about the initiatives, the walking audit and interactive design workshop on Tuesday, and then the presentation of plan concepts on Wednesday. So our stretch of this coverage includes Pleasant Ridge, Huntington Woods, Berkley, and Royal Oak. And these will be held at the offices on the Northwood Shopping Center, aka 13 in Woodward. There's a location in there, and there'll be signs and all that kind of stuff to indicate where it's at, and hopefully we can have everybody participate and be a part of it. So that's that session. This is the 4th of 5 sessions. There are others coming up if for whatever reason someone isn't able to make it on this particular date but is interested in the Complete Streets principles and wants to help voice their opinions and share some ideas. We can certainly do that another session as well. And finally, the last thing I had was with a quote from Atala Shabazz, and she said just recently, "Truth does not change, only our awareness of it." And again, that's truth does not change, only our awareness of it. And the awareness that I'd like to bring to our attention here has to do with safety. So this is National Safety Awareness Month, the month of June. Now, we talk a lot about safety here from a public safety perspective. Tonight, we had the great fortune of welcoming a new officer to our public safety committee and our team, and very thankful for that. What I'm speaking of here is the day-to-day, our safety as people, as families, as workers, as bicyclists, things that we can do to be safe. And that's what this whole month is about. If you're interested, there's a tremendous amount of information out there about safety, and they've even organized it into themes or patterns, if you will, so that we can explore different aspects of safety. And I just wanted to draw attention to this week, for instance, is around preventing slips, trips, and falls. That is the number one source of accidents for just about every business and family, and it's just the obvious things that we can do to help ensure that we avoid slips, trips, and falls. You'd think it's a winter-only opportunity to slip or trip, but there's every opportunity every day to encounter an obstacle or just a slippery patch and take a tumble, which is unfortunate. Week 2 is around employee wellness. Week 3 is around emergency preparedness. And week 4 is around ergonomics, as it pertains to your workplace, your office, your home, your vehicle, making sure that things are positioned so that you can safely interact with those. And I just wanted to raise that awareness to folks so that safety isn't an accident, right? We want to be intentional and deliberate about it. So thanks for your help in ensuring your safety and those of your family and colleagues. And with that, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Councilmember Stedman.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Blanchard.
Two things, Your Honor. I want to remind everybody that the Chamber of Commerce will have their Art Bash this Saturday, 8th of June. It'll be held on 12 Mile between Wakefield and Tyler, and the hours are 10 to 6, and they've got a very good turnout of artists coming, so it should be a wonderful event. A lot of things to see and do down there. Also, at the same time, between 10 and 2, we're having Lids for Kids here in the parking lot at the Public Safety Building. And for those of the residents that don't know what Lids for Kids is, it's a program where we give away bicycle helmets to the children. If they have a helmet, they can come down with that helmet. We'll help them fit it to make sure it fits perfectly correctly. And then we have people there that will be walking them through a bicycle safety course on how to ride and what the stop signs and all these different things. And there'll be people there that will be looking at bikes to make sure that they're safe as far as maintenance goes. So there'll be a number of activities, and it's all free. I think the American Legion, Sons of the American Legion, are providing hot dogs. So come on down, 10 to 2, and let the kids get familiarized with bike safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Turbrack.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I was in the dunk tank of that last year. I'm not quite sure. It's very possible, but thank you. Certainly a great event. 2 great events happening this weekend. I just have a couple of quick notes. The first off is, many of you are probably familiar, Our Lady of La Salette School will be closing its doors for good this Thursday. It's the last day of school. However, on Friday and Saturday, there are events, open houses both nights for all alumni, parents of alumni, from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the school. The school will be open, classrooms will be open. It'll be kind of a last chance to walk through the building, reminisce about the good old days, some older days. La Salette's been around for 70-plus years. I know there are some members of graduating classes from the early 40s that are planning on attending. So if you see this and you would like to attend, or you know somebody who has been impacted by that school, please make sure that they are aware. From 6 to 9, I know the group has done a good job of promoting it around the city, but one last effort. I hope to see as many people as possible there. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Platt Onson.
Just a couple of quick things this evening. First, congratulations to DPW and the Tree Board. It's their 18th time receiving the Growth Award for Tree City USA, so congratulations to them on all their hard work on the tree planting programs that they do and the tree maintenance that they do. In our bicycle theme of this evening, it seems we have one. Don't forget that in relation to the Art Bash, the Environmental Advisory Committee has a bike valet available. So we do have some bike racks downtown, but if they're all filled up, you can park your bike for free at the bicycle valet. They will watch it for you, keep it safe, lots of parking available there. So feel free to ride your bike because I'm sure the weather is going to be wonderful.
Where is that going to be? Because there was questions last year, people couldn't find it.
I believe they are typically at Robina on the south side,
South side of
correct?
Robina.
Okay, yes. So if people ride up Robina, that's kind of the easiest way to get there. Then you don't have to cut down 12 Mile and dodge the pedestrians. So if you want to come across Wiltshire or Beverly and come up Robina, I believe it's right there on the south side of 12 Mile. And then an update from the Planning Commission. So they have been and will be dealing with lots of parking lot issues. So we seem to have, over the course of the last couple of years, had lots of parking lot rezonings come before us. They will be looking at another one on on Eaton, in regards to the Vincetta lot there and what's happening with the parking in that area. So that will be at their June meeting, I believe, that they will be looking at that. Also with transit-oriented development, we've been talking a lot about parking along Woodward, and as you all recall, we were dealing with the SHG group, I believe, on Coolidge as we start to look at, thank you. SHW. Knew it was 3 letters of something. And looking at some of the depths of our lots and what Berkley will become over the years. So as all of these parking issues continue to arise, and they don't seem to be going away, and what a great problem to have that we have so many people in and around our city that we finally, after all these years, have a parking problem. I'm thinking perhaps we might want to consider a work session moving forward about our intentions around municipal parking in regards to Woodward and Coolidge. Of course, the budget is coming. We just went through the work sessions, which includes some municipal parking there. So we might want to have a conversation about how to start solving some of these problems and being intentional long-term. So maybe a work session in the near future so we're prepared as these rezonings come before us. Just throw that out. And that's all for me tonight. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Kideckel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a few congratulations. First one is to Berkeley High School sophomore Aaron Maroney, who was this year's designer of the Cruise Fest T-shirt. Between the Chamber of Commerce and the Cruise Fest Committee, her logo was selected amongst many, and you can get her T-shirt in another couple months, or the T-shirt with her design. So congratulations to her. Also, I'd like to congratulate former Mayor Pro Tem Dale Goodcourage on the election as commander of American Legion Post 374, and I know he's going to do an excellent job there. And my last one is to congratulate current Mayor Pro Tem Dan Turbrick as principal of Our Lady of La Salette. I know the community has appreciated your efforts and your hard work over these past few years, and you did keep a good thing going for longer than expected. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Sessa.
Council, I promise to be brief. Mines are probably a little bit work-related, and I was trying to speak with the city clerk to make sure I'm doing this correctly. We have been extremely busy this past year. As you know, we've gone through all different types of major changes this past year. But one thing that I would like to ask the city council is to consider conducting my evaluation. I know it's a little bit overdue, but I'd like to proceed with that. And I'm hoping that perhaps, now I'm not asking to do it right this second, So maybe perhaps in July, the first meeting in July, this way it'll give city council members a little bit of time to sit down and review the report or whatever. But I thought perhaps in July would be, is that okay
Mhm.
with the council?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do it in July then. It'll give us enough time to give everybody the report and everything. Okay, thank you very much. And the only other thing that I also wanted to mention was to say to council that I agree with Councilmember Platt Onson regarding the work session on parking. Our city planner had brought that to my attention after the last planning commission meeting, and we're going to be looking at a couple of options, and definitely, Leslie, bring this back to the city council with some recommendations and as to perhaps a way to move forward and to address this. And as you said, this is a good thing that we're finally getting this type of issue. Of course, we'd like to address it before it continues to grow, and that's what we're hoping for. And but be able to come up with a positive solution so that everybody will knows, that's working on this matter will know what to do, and we can move forward. So, council, with that, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Sabuda.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have nothing this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney.
Just very briefly, I reported to the city manager, and I believe she shared with you an update I provided last week on some possible developments regarding our fireworks law. Now, I don't have anything new to report to you, but that could change quickly. What I'm referring to specifically is, of course, we're all aware the fireworks law was changed last year to make the sale of consumer fireworks legal in Michigan, but it also pretty much took us out of the fireworks regulation business on the date of national holidays and the day before and the day after, which made it kind of wide open, and a lot of people really took advantage of the newness of it, and there were certainly complaints, I'm sure not only in Berkeley, but throughout with fireworks being shot off at late hours and so on. So although the legislature is not thinking about repealing the law that was passed, they are considering proposed legislation right now which would give us the local option to at least prohibit the discharge of fireworks after midnight, during the nighttime hours, which is a small step toward restoring the sanity that previously existed. It still has to go through the Senate, and of course the governor needs to sign it into law. That may happen this week. We'll see. I think there'll be an effort to get it in place prior to the upcoming Independence Day, which of course is the big day of all days for fireworks. So if that happens, I will certainly keep the city manager apprised, but it may be necessary if the council wants to get something in place. It may be necessary to have a special meeting in order to do so. But the first step will be for the state legislature to act on it and let us know if we can do it, and then we'll move quickly to get an ordinance before you. That's all I have to report tonight.
Very good. Thank you. I have a follow-up question on the tail end of that.
Sure.
If we were to pass some ordinance with regard to the legislation in Lansing, is there a number of days required between our passing and implementation?
I think in order to have it, the answer is yes, ordinarily. Ordinarily, there would be a 30-day period, but I think this is something that we could consider along the lines of an emergency ordinance. Not an emergency in the sense we've got a flood or a fire, but it is certainly public safety related, and it is definitely something that if we have the authority to do so, we want to get it into place before the Independence Day holiday, which again is the really the biggest time of the year for the fireworks. That would be council's option, but that would be a way to have it go into immediate effect, would be to classify it and adopt it as an emergency measure.
Good. Thank you. Last year we had an avalanche of responses from the community, concerns about this situation, and multiple communities did in this area as well. So thank you very much for staying on top of that and keeping us apprised of the changes as they unfold. It falls to me to once again welcome Public Safety Officer Cassie Pounders, joining our distinguished crew of public safety officers. Based upon the Chief's very high praise, she will fit in well with a very, very competent group of officers. So we're thankful that she has joined us. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn by Councilmember Cadecle.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Baker. Ms. Prince, would you please call the roll?
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
Platt Onson?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. June 3rd meeting is adjourned.
Jack, you're very close. What'd you say?